So, I recently paid a visit to Laaaaahndaaaan. Oi oi, in it you slag! Mainly because there was a Robosen Transformers pop-up event at Harrods I wanted to see, but also because I wanted to check out a couple of London arcades whilst I was up there too. The first of these was Funland Arcade, located in an area known as the Brunswick shopping centre. The main reason I wanted to visit here was because I knew they had a Daytona USA twin cabinet there. Funland looks quite small from the outside, but once you're inside it, it's actually a fairly decent size. Despite the Daytona twin cabinet in there, Funland is very much a modern arcade rather than a specific retro style arcade, with a mixture of more modern cabinets, redemption machines and pinball machines. There was also a Transformers Human Alliance cabinet in there, which was cool to see, and the Raw Thrills Jurassic Park arcade game, which I have seen once before but had never actually played on. In all honesty though, those two games and Daytona were the only things that interested me in there. That's not a criticism of the place, that's just me being an old git who isn't really interested in most modern games. But that's fine, because the main thing I went there for was the twin Daytona cabinet. In recent years, I found an upright Daytona cabinet in an arcade bar near me that had knackered steering, and a few years before this, a twin Sega Racing Classics cabinet that had very stiff gears that was in a bowling alley in the city that I live in. But this was the first proper Daytona sit-down cabinet I've seen in probably about 25 years. And using this cabinet, history was made, as I managed to get a first place on the advanced course, Dinosaur Canyon, for the first time ever using real arcade hardware. The steering was behaving as it was supposed to, and the gears felt fine, but unfortunately there was no force feedback, and the CRTs had been swapped out for what looked like incorrect aspect ratio 16:9 LCD monitors, although to be honest I stopped noticing this after a few goes. On the Jurassic Park cabinet, the controls for player 1 weren't actually working properly. The crosshairs wouldn't go to the very top of the screen. I mentioned this to the staff who are working there, and they very kindly gave me another free go from the player 2 side. This was working, but the crosshairs were a little bit jittery. One thing I wasn't so wild about at Funland was the contactless play cards they used instead of tokens or, just actual cash to play the machines. The minimum you could spend was £5, which got you either 20 or 25 tokens, I can't recall which off the top of my head now. The irritation here though was that the number of tokens required to play the machines used decimal points as opposed to just being whole numbers. So, for example, a go on Daytona was 4.8 credits, Transformers was around 6.7 or something, and Jurassic Park was something like 8.5. This meant you'd use up most of your tokens and then be left with something like 0.7 left that basically won't buy you a go on anything. This just struck me as a totally stupid payment system. I think maybe I've just been a bit too spoilt for choice with some retro arcades I've been to recently, where you just pay an entrance fee and then all the games are on free play. It also really highlighted for me just how ridiculously expensive most modern arcade games are, when basically a 2-minute go on Jurassic Park has almost wiped out half of your £5 play card. So there we go, Funland. I'm going to shut up now and we can just have a look at a few individual games.
Yes!
So that is my whistle-stop tour of Funland Arcade in the Brunswick shopping centre in Laaaaahndaaaan. Have you been here? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, as always, this is Mr. Thunderwing signing off, and I will catch you again for another video sometime soon. Take care, bye bye.